The biggest thing I'm impressed with though, bro, is your creativity. Like, what inspired that?
The interest that I had outside of basketball, I've been in performing arts since I was a kid. I grew
Oh,
up acting,
word.
singing, and dancing. Love biopics. I love movies. I love music, and just trying to find all the different ways that basketball is living within that. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, scorers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a hooper, a real hooper. We got to talk to only the real hoopers. But before we start, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Like I said, we got a guy, true baller, true hooper, internet sensation. Please welcome Brandon Beloti.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What's what's good, bro?
Appreciate you having me on the show, gang.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. I've been looking at your work. I'm impressed, brother. You know what I'm
I
impressed with?
appreciate it.
The biggest thing I'm impressed with though, bro, is like your creativity. Your creativity with this. What inspired the creativity, like as far as like the behind the scenes of a basketball, how the basketball mind think during after games
hmm
or how they think during pickup and all that good stuff. What inspired that? Like what
I'm not
inspired
gonna
your
lie.
creativity?
I really think it plays into the interest that I had outside of basketball growing up. A lot of people don't notice about, well, people who have been around me my whole life notice about me, but like my audience, they don't know I've been in performing arts since I was a kid. I grew up
Oh,
acting,
word.
singing, and dancing. So outside, like my parents always wanted to make sure I had something to do outside of basketball. Growing up in New York, I could go down to the parks anytime. But
Uh-huh.
when it came to having structured events, basketball wasn't always around like 24/7. My mom's work, my dad worked, and then when it came to they had to drop me off somewhere, and it wasn't always going to be basketball. So taking like the creative side of things from the performing arts and kind of mixing it with basketball. I love biopics, I love movies, I love music, and just trying to find all the different ways that basketball is like woven within that. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. That's dope. Where you from? Where you originally from?
I'm originally from New York, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. No, nice, bro. So I saw you went to Elizabeth City College, which is a Division II college.
Elizabeth
Uh,
City State University.
yeah. So what made you go there? Like, why not Division I? Like, what was your story behind going to a Division II?
My basketball story it's interesting. It's a whole bunch of different turns. It's never a straight and narrow for nobody. You know what
Man,
I'm
listen,
saying?
that's why we here. We want to tell the underdog story because I played Division II as well, but I made some mistakes on the journey of my college career, like where I took the financial aid on a year I was redshirting. You only can get financial aid if you go full time, but if you go full
Mm-hmm.
time, that means it was an NCAA clock that started. So my
Oh yeah,
clock
the running
started.
clock. But all of the eligibility standards that was there when we was playing, it's days out the window now.
Got so yeah, so that's what messed me up. So I mean, I'm looking at your athleticism on these videos. I'm like, why my man didn't go Division I? He's about 6'4", he can hoop. Why he go Division I?
So I went to Tabor Academy for high school up in Massachusetts, but my parents had already moved down to North Carolina. So
Mm-hmm.
going to boarding school, that experience alone is like a whole story of its own. But from the basketball standpoint, I played in the knapsack. So we talking Brewster Academy, we talking Cushion Academy. I'm playing
Mm-hmm.
like I thought that I got some exposure to some high major Division I players. I knew physically at that point I wasn't at that level. Yeah, I know right now I'm 6'4", 215 pounds. I wasn't built like this in high school.
Oh, okay, got you.
I was always like around this height. Freshman year, 6 feet. By the end of my senior year, I'm 6'3", pushing 6'4". But I was only 180 pounds, 185 pounds. I was ducking the weight room like crazy, and and it's like one of the only regrets that I have in my high school journey because every coach was telling me like, we love the way you play, but you're a little too small to be playing the way that you do. Like you want to play above the rim, you want to get downhill, everything like that. And I could shoot. I shot over 50% from the 3-point line in high school.
Dope.
But my main thing that I wanted to do was get
Get to
get
the
to that
get
rim
to the
and put it
get
on
to the
somebody's head. You
Baja.
feel me?
I heard that.
So I didn't get I actually wound up doing a post grad year because I graduated when I was 17. So
Okay.
I did a post grad year and came down to North Carolina and played at Bull City Prep. And that's where I had my best season. I was averaging 21 points a game, 5 assists, five boards, over 50 from the field, over 50 from the 3-point line. And I had a couple of low D1 looks. It was a lot of word of mouth chatter, and then unofficial visits. I don't know if coaches still do this to the same extent, but this was back when if your coach had the right connections during the live period, coaches will travel down and come see y'all play open gym just to
Right.
get a sense of like how you hoop like outside of the system if they
Yep.
didn't see you during AAU. I had I had got on some low D1 radars, and I think the worst thing that happened to me was one coach before this actually happened my senior year before my post grad year. One coach, I'll never forget this. I had been talking to them over the summer, and I'll go back to school, going back up to Massachusetts for my senior year. And I'm telling everybody, yo, I've been talking to they talking about they getting ready to offer me like I'm about to go D1, like it's I'm about to be up out of here,
Uh-huh.
man. Going through our school, the college applications come around. I'm filling out the comment app because my mom told me you got to be able to get into the school academically regardless. So you might as well just go ahead, apply to school, see where you stand academically, everything like that. I got into the school, and then the coach I was talking to goes, "Well, we see that you just got in, so we could just give you a preferred walk on type of offer, right?" I said no, like I can't afford the school. Like I need a scholarship.
Right.
I ain't hear from him after that.
Damn.
Didn't hear
Damn.
from him after that
The cold world.
until post grad year came around, and now they have a real close connection with the coach I was playing for, Daryl Harris at Bull City Prep. He's telling me, oh, is telling me that they interested in you. I immediately said, nah, like I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't want to go regardless.
I don't blame you because
But
once they shake you like that, bro,
that's what I'm
you don't
saying.
want to put your career in their hands, brother.
So when I seen how that played out, and I like got my first taste of the politics of the game when it goes into the recruiting and everything like that. Long story short, I wound up being a JUCO product, and
Mm,
then got an even harsher lesson in reality on where you stand within every level that you play, what it takes to physically play high level basketball. I got my reality check in open gym in JUCO from a 6'7", 245-pound D1 transfer from Kennesaw State.
mm.
And then by the time I got out of JUCO, it became what was going to be the right fit with the Scott with especially when it came to making sure that I went somewhere for free, making sure that I had a full scholarship because I was on full scholarship with JUCO. I had a job, I had money in my pocket. Like I
Right.
didn't want to switch up my situation to the point where now I'm being another broke college athlete. So
Right.
now I wound up choosing the wrong school. I mean,
What
they
school?
sold me.
So
No,
Elizabeth?
no, no. I,
That,
I
that,
wound up committing to Young Harris College, and I hate to speak down on a college because it wasn't the right fit for me. But I learned all of Georgia is not Atlanta because it was not a friendly environment to be in. I went on my visit
I can
during the
imagine. I can
summertime.
imagine what you're talking
Yeah,
about
I was in
here.
the mountains of North Georgia,
Oh
like
shit,
off on
hell no.
the like Western Carolina. I was driving over from Raleigh on my official visit. Now, when I
Mm,
got to the town, they put me in the little resort that's next to the campus. I'm seeing nothing but Ferraris and crazy sports cars in the parking lot. So
word.
I'm like, this town got money. I go on my visit. Everything went fine. Everything was in the summertime though, so there was nobody else on campus.
That's how
By
they
the
get you.
time by the time I wound up, long story short, signed my LOI to go there, and then I just was not happy. It was my worst season. It was
Why,
literally
why,
my worst
why,
season.
why weren't you happy? Why weren't you happy?
When you in an environment where nobody looks like you for real outside of campus, and
Uh,
it's not just they don't look like you, they don't want you there. I remember
mm,
I remember seeing and hearing like, oh, the Klan be meeting down the street. And I'm thinking, like, I'm writing it off like it's nothing, like, you just chatting, you talking, whatever. But turns out it was facts. It was a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on in the town while I was out there. And
uh,
then I also didn't have the best relationship with the boosters because they didn't like my stances when it came to the politics. This is going into COVID. Like after,
wow.
not to get too political on the pod, but
No, you
Trump in
straight?
office now. Like, this was not friendly territory. I remember the vibe of everything just changing like in real time, and it was the first time that
Mm,
I felt like I was a part like of some negative U.S. history going on. It was
wow.
crazy. So that school showed me that I needed to be at a HBCU. I needed to be somewhere where I was looked at as more than an athlete and appreciated for not for being more than an athlete and taking pride in my culture.
Gotcha.
So once I got to Elizabeth City, I
So
transferred
wait,
during COVID.
but before we get there, did you ever play for that school? The school that was
I did. I did.
you
I
did?
played. I
So
played
how
all of 11 games. My relationship with the coach like diminished in real time. Like
mm,
by the end of the season, I wasn't playing.
wow.
I came into those scrimmage like the exhibition games, everything like that. In my first couple of games of the season, I started off hitting the ground running. I'm averaging around 17-8,
Right?
somewhere around there. I wasn't playing by the end of the year.
Wow. Wow. How many games of the season? You only played 11 games. What?
The entire season was about 27 games.
Oh, you only played in 11 games, like, but
Yeah.
you
Oh no,
slept.
I suited up for 25 of those 27
Oh,
games.
okay, okay, but
I
they only
checked
played.
in for 11 is OD. Like I checked in for roughly like the first half of the season. By the time the second half of the season came around, I wasn't playing no more.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame you, bro. But you
So
got man, listen, bro. You got
I had to hit that portal.
yeah, I don't blame you,
And it was
bro.
the first year of the transfer portal.
That was a blessing for you right there.
Facts.
Because I know when I was playing, if you transfer, you had to sit out a year. You had to
Mm-hmm.
sit out a year. And then it wasn't like a transfer portal. You had to have some connect somewhere. Like
Yep.
somebody, especially if you was in a situation like yours, where the coach didn't really rock with you. You had to know another coach who had other connections, and then and you're playing at a collegiate level. Or what school was this? Was it Division II school as well?
Another Division II school.
So you playing at the Division II level. So you got to now find another coach who know another
Mm-hmm.
Division II coach to get there. But
Yep.
now, I mean, I'm grateful for you that you had the actual portal where people can look for you.
The crazy thing is, as much as I was navigating through the portal, the reason I wound up going to Elizabeth City was because the head coach, Sean Walker, shout out, he was recruiting my younger brother
Mm,
and found out that I was in the portal, and he had already knew me as a player. He said, "Yo, yeah, so go ahead and send both of them." So this was during COVID. So my
right.
brother is finishing up his senior year. I transferred into Elizabeth City, and I didn't get to play any games that COVID year. Like they wound up canceling our season,
Mm,
but it was a blessing in disguise because I got to. It was damn near a redshirt year for me. Like I got to learn the system, go through all the conditioning, and really like put my head down and grind out for like a year. And
hmm
then and by the time the next season came around, regular starter. Now I'm back to playing
Dope.
the minutes that I should be, getting the notoriety and recognition that I deserve.
Dope. That's tough, man. I'm happy that stuff worked out for you. So you had a good, I assume you had a good career or a good experience at Elizabeth City.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
That's home now. That's
That's what's
definitely home now.
that's what's up, man. So did you play overseas after that?
I wound up. So I thought I was gonna be done after my season ended at Elizabeth City. I
Hmm
was almost going full time content creation. I had signed a contract with a content group and with House of Highlights.
Okay.
So me and my brother, he wound up redshirting the next year. We played my senior season together.
Uh,
That next year we were down in Houston, and I was getting ready to I was actually sneaking into a semi-pro game for a YouTube video. My JUCO coach had hit me up and said, you know, we need you to if you in the area, you know, I'd like for you to pull up and play in this game. You know, we need a couple of guys. I wound up playing in this UBL game down in Texas
right.
and got in contact with David Magley at a TBL, and he told me, you know, come out to the combine. You know, I've seen some of the film on you. I think you're going to wind up going high in our draft. 98 picks for 46 teams. I wound up being the third pick in that draft.
So
And then that kickstarted my professional career from that point on. Now we getting paid to play ball. I ain't got no complaints.
that's a blessing, bro. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say you're a professional athlete, bro. Like nobody can say that.
it,
Now,
it happened in the craziest way.
just take a step back. Your content create like the content creation started in college.
Yup, during COVID,
What
after
was
I got to Elizabeth City.
what was the first viral video?
My first video went viral.
Did it?
My very first video. I got so when I transferred to Elizabeth City, I was just hooping with my brother the week before, and he wound up testing positive for COVID.
Mm,
So I get the call from my mom, and she's telling me I just moved in on campus. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to be outside and meet everybody. Be outside on the HBCU campus for real. And my mom called me and said, "Yeah, Jaden tested positive for COVID. You got to go in the quarantine. There's no rapid testing." So I went, got tested, and I had to wait them full 10 days for my results. I
damn.
got bored that very first day of quarantine. Like they put me in a completely separate dorm on campus, and it's just me in there in this little apartment style room.
Hmm.
And I got bored, and I wound up making my first skit. It was based off of a trend that was going on at the time. People was making decisions or whatever. I had wound up taking that trend and putting real clips of me playing basketball within it. My phone died that night. Like after I posted the video, it hit over a mil that same night. I had no followers when I posted that video. I woke up the next day, plugged my phone in, and I was at about 20,000. And
Oh,
my comments was flooded with, "Yo, where's part two? Where's part two? We want another part of this video." Somebody went onto my Instagram and saw a couple of the videos of me dunking and said, "Yo, post these on TikTok. I promise you they will blow up. Like we gonna blow them up." It felt like a whole
oh, so this
community
one,
was around me.
this one
Like
viral on Instagram.
no, I went viral on TikTok first,
Oh, okay,
but the
okay, got you.
person had went to my Instagram from my TikTok.
Oh, got you.
And then
Okay.
he said, like, he came back to my TikTok comments. He was like, "Yo, like, if you post your dunks on TikTok, you probably like, we'll make sure you go viral." It felt like I had like a whole like gang of people around me, so I started incorporating more real life basketball within my skits, videos of me dunking, using them as intro clips, everything like that. And like I said, I walked into quarantine. I ain't have no followers, no social media ambitions or nothing. But by the time I walked out, 10 days later, we looking at 60,000 followers
Damn.
and
And you
and
said it was up
millions
from
of
there.
views off rip. So I
So,
just kept it going from that point on. And then NIL hit the next year when I could actually play now because now the COVID season is over. I kept making videos, everything like that. But by the time next year came around, Creative Fund opens up, NIL happens. Now I can make money doing this social media along with playing ball.
mm,
Yeah, game over.
yeah,
Game
you
over.
you rich as shit. I already know.
That nah, not even. I ain't rich. I ain't
No,
rich.
I'm messing with you, bro. I'm
I
messing
ain't
with you.
rich.
I'm messing with
But
you, brother.
nah, by that next year, my brother was also on social media already too. He had already had like 100K on TikTok,
Uh-huh.
and he was just doing dumb stuff like just little skits, dances, whatever. But once they found out that we were brothers, we could hoop, we were going to be at the same school. By that next year, I was at 400,000 followers on TikTok, and he was a little ahead of me at like a half mil.
Right.
And we had some big games on our schedule to start off. We had University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill,
Uh-huh.
and then we had also had NC State. And
Uh-huh.
I remember the before those first two games, they made like these social media, like the fan pages of UNC and NC State, they had already like labeled us as just TikTok hoopers. So they was like making posts and saying, "Oh, we getting ready to take on these TikTok hoopers that go to this small D2. We about to blow them out by 100." And that's not what happened.
Right.
So HBCU game day was there to see me. I think I had like 13-6 against NC State, and then 9-5 against University of North Carolina. We lost both games, but we kept them pretty close. And this was the year that North Carolina was number 1 in the nation. Armando
Mm.
Bacot and all of them.
Yep.
So it was a big deal. And to see us on national TV, it only blew up the platform even more.
So, a question I have for you, because you putting a lot of time into creating content. You still hooping in school, and the reason I had this question is because I know I coach younger kids. I know there's younger kids out there that's want to do the content creation
Mm-hmm.
and play college basketball. College basketball, the workload is heavy. I mean,
Facts.
I know for me,
Facts.
when I was playing, we probably practiced about 3 times a day, four if you include lifting weights.
Mm-hmm.
How are you balancing all that? How are you balancing the attention on social media, being able having to give your followers what they want because they want they want new clips, they want new stuff, and
Yeah.
you gotta fulfill your job as a player. How are you balancing it out?
Honestly, the way that my schedule was set up was kind of perfect to incorporate social media because it was something that I genuinely enjoyed doing in my free time. You got to remember
Right,
that first year that I was making content, COVID season going on, so there's no games. It basically felt like we were basically on a preseason training schedule for the entire year
right.
because the season kept getting pushed back at first, and then they said no season. We just gonna continue workouts. So we do 6 a.m. weights, 7 a.m. on the track after that. 8 a.m. we out for classes. I had hybrid courses.
Mhm.
So I was taking the time, but I was also an RA on campus during all of this.
Ah, I got
So
you.
the little pockets of free time that I have where other guys is like hopping on the game or whatever like that, my outlet was creating content.
Got you.
It came from a genuine place of passion. That's why
Good.
when people ask me like, "Oh, how did you blow up?" everything like that, I can't really give them like a straight up like, "Oh, this is the formula. This is how to do it." I genuinely was doing it because I enjoyed it, and then the money came secondary. And then once the
Got
money
you.
came, it came. You find a way to make things shake from there.
Got you.
But I knew that I had to maintain basketball in school as my priority. I
Hmm.
so while I'm at the desk, as an RA, you got to sit at the desk for 4 hours, 4 hours a day, checking people in and out of the building. Maybe somebody get locked out of the room, whatever. But during those pockets where I didn't have nothing to do, I was at the desk editing videos. If I didn't finish my homework already, if I didn't finish all my classwork for the week or whatever, I was always on top of my schoolwork. I graduated with a 3.3.
Got you.
So it once everything in the classroom was taken care of, I was scheduling out my videos and at this point I was recording skits and posting twice a day. But at the time, I could usually record everything in my room. I didn't get to the point where I was recording everything on the court just yet.
Uh-huh.
So being able to have fun with the social media and being able to slide it in within my free time was the best option for me.
So, so when was your? Because you got some hops, bro. You get up there when you hooping, bro. When was your first dunk? You remember that?
Yeah, I got my first dunk in a pickup game when I was 13 years old.
Word.
I
So
was
you
on
was
a
like
I was
seventh
on a
grade,
fast break. Nah. I was eighth grade getting ready. I
eighth
was
grade. Okay.
summer going into high school.
Okay.
So I was getting ready to turn 14. I was on a
Oh, that's right.
fast
You
break.
you graduated young.
Mm-hmm.
You was young for your grade. Okay, got you.
So I was on a fast break coming down the right side on an outdoor court, and I went up for this lay, and I was intending to smack the backboard, but I saw like where I took off from. I saw where I was at, and I said, "Hold on, I think I might be able to." I just turned my wrist because I could already palm the ball, and it won't nothing crazy. Like I'm making it sound like it was this big deal, but like I had long arms, and it won't no like crazy punch. It was more like the rim was a little loose, so like it snapped a little
Yeah.
bit, but I felt like Bron in that moment. You couldn't tell me nothing. I couldn't dunk again until I couldn't dunk again for like another 6 months after that. I didn't dunk again
That
until halfway through freshman year, and then
uh-huh.
didn't dunk consistently until summer going into sophomore year.
Got you. Got you. Did you and so you still play how often do you play now? Because
Every
I know
day,
you still play every day?
every day.
I was about to ask you how you stay in shape. Now you already answered that question for
I
me.
mean, I try to keep myself on the same regimen that I was in college because being in shape kills a lot of the issues that guys have on the court. When
Hmm.
you have, yeah, especially a guy like me, I don't necessarily rely on my athleticism, but if push comes to shove, I know that 9 times out of 10, I'm the most athletic dude on the court.
Uh-huh.
Knowing when to take advantage of it, that's a skill.
Right.
When you're in the process of developing that skill of knowing when to take advantage of your athleticism, when the difference between your 75% and your 100%, being in shape kills it buys you a little bit more time. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like you could get a little out of control or whatever, but if you're in shape, it's easier to bring yourself back in. When you
Hmm.
out of shape, and some guys like you ever seen a dude that's athletic but can't use his athleticism for long? Like he gets
Right.
tired easily, everything
No,
like
for
that.
sure, of course. You see it
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
exactly. Like these dudes who dunk in between games, but then can't dunk in games. You know what I'm
Got you.
saying? Being in shape kills all of that. So I try to keep myself on the same regimen that I was in college
Hmm.
because as a pro, you don't get that. Like training camp is like 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then most of that time is spent getting ready for the season, obviously. But when you a grown athlete, coaches ain't taking the time to make sure their entire team is in shape and have y'all running a whole bunch of 17s and suicides outside of punishments or nothing like that. They're expecting you to come in shape already.
Oh, for sure.
So that's kind of like what led to me falling in love with the weight room as like a secondary passion. And with the weight room being a secondary passion, being in shape is never an issue
Yeah.
because I enjoy the workouts.
So yeah, so when you because you're semi-pro, right?
Kinda. You could call it that.
Yeah, I mean, I call it that shit. It ain't easy.
It ain't
It ain't
NBA.
easy.
It ain't NBA.
No,
I'll
it
say
ain't.
that.
No, it ain't NBA, but still, like that average person, you still part of that 2% of
Facts.
basketball players who can actually play at the college, brother. So you gotta,
I, just,
I gotta
I
tip
try to
my hat
avoid
to
the
you.
semi-pro label just because of everything that I have to go through. Like I'm out the country 6 to 8 months out the year, so I know it's not NBA, it's not high level Euro League. At the same time, I'm on that same training schedule. I'm on that same like
That's
type of regimen.
that's what I was gonna
You
ask
know
you.
what I
How
mean?
I was gonna ask you like how, because my thing is right. Part of my brand, with Score Society is like I like to attack media narratives,
Mm-hmm.
and because everyone has a voice on social media, everyone feels like they know everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
They feel like, oh, you not you didn't make it to the NBA, so you can't be that
Exactly.
good. You're not Division 1, so you can't be that good. And I
Man.
don't think they understand like to be in just your position, how many hours a day you need to actually train. Like,
Facts.
so I mean, give us some insight on what it looks like if a pro, but you're not in the NBA, and how often do you train?
Like I'm on 2 days right now. This morning went to my local gym and I got my first lower body lift in, and I
Mhm.
make my all my own workouts. And the workouts that people see that I post on social media, those are the real workouts. Those are the full splits. Those are like, I don't just go in there and record it for the cameras.
Right.
That's kind of like it's real work just with a little decoration is what I like to call it.
Gotcha.
So when I get up in the morning around like 6:30, 7 o'clock. If I'm on like towards the weekends, I might sleep in a little bit. I'm an adult now. I ain't got no college classes, nothing like that. I'll go and I'll record my morning workout, and then I'll come back to the crib in the afternoon. That's the time that I use to edit my workout videos, record any skits for the day, edit everything like that. Now I could take the rest of that day and chill, but instead I go back to the gym for that second workout, and it's more mobility focused. And then strictly on the court from there, it may turn into a hoop session. Depends on what my court access looks like. I might go to a shoot 360, put up shots. I
Yeah.
might get tricked into playing pickup. I might go to a empty gym and just do my own thing, set up cones, whatever.
Right.
But that first workout in the morning, I'm in there from 7 until about 11.
Oh.
And then when I go back in the afternoon, that's how I finish my day. I'm usually there from about 5 until 8.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's almost an everyday thing.
Yeah. That ain't no joke. That ain't no joke, man. So
It's hard, and it's hard to maintain throughout like the off season is unpredictable when you're playing overseas. So it's
mm,
like you never know when the next contract could come around. So you got to make sure that you in striking distance of being in season shape. But at the same time, it's damn near impossible to manage that type of load on your body for extended periods of time without injury. So you have to also try to be mindful of working smarter rather than harder. As soon as I start to like, if I play a pickup game and
uh-huh.
I start to feel myself like I'm not the one that's in the best shape on the court, yeah, something's got to change. Now I got to ramp it up. I got to do little things like somebody may look at me ridiculous. I pick up full court and pick up if I need to get in shape.
Right.
That's
As
a
you
fun
should.
way of getting in shape for me instead of
So,
just going in there and mindlessly running 17s. But also twice a week, I got to go in there and do my sprints. I got to go in there and do some type of long distance running. I got to hold myself
mhm.
to that standard.
There you have it. Another episode for Score Society. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, follow us on all social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, at Score Society. Let's continue to think elite and together. Welcome to Score Society.